What do you want to talk about this week, Eric?
Same thing we talk about every week, Amir. When do we become puppets? And when did you turn white?
Live to tape from Vancouver, it's Eric's Living Room, a show best listened to in the nude, featuring Amir Ali. And now, the man who still hasn't paid me for voicing these intros, here is your host, Eric Chapman.
DMC's in the house, jump for joy.
Noise! Sorry.
Welcome to the living room. We're back to our human form. I don't know what happened there. That was weird, but
That
fun.
was weird. I
Yeah.
feel kind of like plasticky.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, they say that we're full of microplastics.
Oh, we're very full of that and other things.
Shit?
Yeah.
I was reading that coffee cups, you know that thin layer of plastic that's in coffee cups?
There is?
Oh, bro. How do you think the coffee doesn't get your paper cup wet, yo? There's like a microfilm. And apparently you get 25,000 microplastic joules injected into you every time you have use one of those coffee cups. Did I say this is a living room and I'm Americ and he's Amir? I don't know, but I'm going to say it again. But yeah, so
You didn't, but
don't use those cups.
fuck. I
Yeah.
have like a to-go cup at home that I can bring with me to coffee shops, and I don't.
Do you always forget it?
I just don't care, but now I do because I'm drinking microplastic every day, apparently.
Bro, yeah, don't drink the microplastic. It's no good. And you don't care
Ugh.
about... Oh, I always use my reusable cup. But I don't have a Stanley. I'm not one of those
You don't want a
weirdos.
Stanley.
They're lead.
Yeah,
They're
why
full
would
of
you want
lead.
to? It's the stupidest trend I've ever seen in my life. Who cares? It's
I don't
fucking.
understand
It's a
it.
fucking water cup,
I
man.
don't understand it. Yeah, it's bizarre.
And people are selling them online for thousands of dollars because there's like rare versions of certain Stanley
Stop it,
cups.
really?
I swear to God.
They're like Pokemon.
Yeah,
Really?
Stanley Mons.
Holy crap. I had no idea. Okay, well, I'm going to start collecting Stanley. If I ever see one at one of the auctions I do part-time.
I would say if you find one at
I'll
like a
scoop it.
Value Village or something, buy
I
it.
should
'cause
get
it's
it?
probably going to be worth way more than what they're selling it at
Oh
Value
my
Village
God,
for.
wow,
But they're
what
probably
a
not
s-
selling it at Value
What a
Village.
stupid thing to collect. All right,
So stupid.
let's do a mental health check. You want to go first?
Do I want to go first?
No, do you wanna go at all?
Um,
You have to go. It's the rule.
Yeah, you know what? Since the last episode, which wasn't that long ago, it's been okay. A few days of sort of peace, and no real mental downfalls to speak of. I've been kind of just like neutral, not too high, not too low, kind of in the middle. Had a really good week at work, and I think that helped sort of lift my spirits up a little bit because things were a little touch and go for a bit. But yeah,
Oh, yeah, you mentioned
overall,
last time that you were like feeling down, struggling through your workday, or what was it?
it was something along the
Something?
lines of like, yeah, like finding a way to work while
Yes.
dealing with anything personal, and that's a challenge. But
That was
no,
it.
the last few days have been good, and I've been good. How about you?
Wow.
How about you?
How about you? How are you doing? How about $20? $20.
Are you still feel good,
I
Eric?
still feel fucking fantastic. Yeah, it was
Feel
great.
good, Eric in the house.
I went on my date last night,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was awesome. She seems to be wonderful. We'll see how it goes. But I'm kind of fucked up from something that happened. Fucked up and, not fucked up, but like, what the fuck, yo? So I took this lovely girl out for dinner to a restaurant that I want to name and shame, but I won't. And like, we had a nice time, and I took this girl out, and I'm on a real fucking tight budget. Like, tight. Like, I'm not fucking around. Like, I can't spend more than this, and I'm not going to go into debt. I have a set amount of money, and this is what I have to use.
So where'd you go then? Like, what kind of prices are we looking at this
Oh,
place?
average prices.
Okay,
We're
yeah.
looking at
15, yeah.
25 bucks for the high-end stuff. Mostly just lots of beer selection, because that's what I'm looking for is a tasty beer. And this lovely lady happens to be a beer fan too, so that's great. So yeah, average spot. It was on Main Street. Nice. And popular spot, for sure. And so I have this set amount of money, and I'm sorry that fucking I got to apologize for this. And so we have a nice time. I have a couple beers and some guac, and the waitress maybe comes to us twice, and that's irrelevant. Again, I'm saying that, but it's fucking irrelevant. And so I go to the bathroom after we're ready to go, and I get back, and the waitress is standing at the table looking at the receipt, and I'm like, oh no, did my credit card not go through? Oh shit, what the fuck? Now what? I'm so hurting. And she's like, was, you know, how come you tipped so little? She asked me. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, was the service bad? And I'm like, well, no. I'm just fucking on EI and I'm so broke and I have to fix the amount of money and that's all the amount of tip I was able to give it to you. It wasn't a lot, I'll admit it, but I don't not tip. That's not the problem here. It's just I don't have the fucking money to. I have a fixed amount and I wanted to do something after, and so I had to budget, and so I tipped, and so she comes and she asked me, and so then I have to explain in front of this person I'm on a date with. Yeah, sorry, I'm on EI, I'm on a fixed budget. I only have this certain amount of money and I'm really broke. So that's all I could tip you. I'm really sorry. I ended up apologizing for tipping someone.
So just for some more context, what would you say, if you could remember, the percentage was tip-wise?
It's irrelevant.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Well, that's what people think about, obviously.
Yeah,
when
but
they
what
talk
does that
about
have
tipping.
to do with the fact that that's all the money I have, and now I've just been embarrassed by this waitress who doesn't think I tipped her enough.
And some people don't tip, period.
Yeah, and that's their choice, and that's okay for them to do, but it's like, if she would have been like, oh, was the service really bad? I'd have been like, no. I've been like, I wasn't able to, I would have approached it like, I'm sorry, like in a nice way, but she came at me right about the money.
Okay, how about this? If this person did a crazy job and was just like over the top, like the best server you had,
It doesn't fucking matter. I had a budget.
But you would have tipped the same amount.
It wouldn't. It could have been like, I don't care. It could have been the president. Name someone that I might like. Stevie Wonder.
They gave you a foot massage.
I don't
been
give
the same
a fuck.
price.
It could have been a lady of the evening, and we could have done the rounds for free, and I still would have tipped her the same because that's all the money I had. That's the point.
Yeah, you can't.
That's
do
my
anything about
point. I would have tipped her $1,000 if I had to, if I could have before. And the thing is too, we went to this place, and then we went to a cypher, a hip hop cypher, which if you don't know is like freestyle battles and rapping and breakdancing, which was awesome. And then we go to this other place, and I tell the story to that waitress, and she's like, "Ew, that's not okay." She's like, I don't care what you tip me. She's like, I haven't been here for 10 minutes. You can tip me nothing. That's fine. It's not up to me what you tip me. And so I had a conversation with another server, and she's like, yeah, that was kind of weird, and I don't understand why she'd do that. But it was just, I think why it's really bothering me is because it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because I'm in front of this girl, and so it's been fucking with me. That's why it's part of my mental health check, because it's like been like, and I've been and at first I was really angry about it, but I didn't get angry in the moment. I was fine. I brushed it off. And since then, I'm just like, I feel shame. I feel she shamed me.
I don't think I've ever been confronted about a tip anywhere, no matter what I've tipped. And I'm sure there's been places that I've tipped kind of a minimal amount, but like I've never once been confronted about the amount that I've tipped or haven't tipped. Well, that's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, that's what it's rubbing me the wrong way, because like it's like I've tipped nothing and nobody said anything.
Right.
And in fact, like the person looked at the bill, said thank you, and I walked away. Like, because I'm not going to tip if you're not going to give me, if you're just handing me a beer, give me the beer. Like it's like takeout. You know what I mean? And if you're a jerk and you're running around, and that's what it was. So I'm like, I'm not going to tip you.
Do you think this will prevent you from going back to this place?
I will
now?
never go back to this place. Never. Because it's an embarrassment, and I feel ashamed. It's like, God, like, why should I have to explain to some fucking stranger that I'm fucking broke because she doesn't think I tipped her enough because her boss won't pay her a living wage? And that's like, let's fucking break this. Go to anywhere in the world and ask about tipping culture, and they'll say Canada's fucking crazy. It's nuts. It's not like, and I tip, fuck off with that shit. And I've worked in the service industry. I've worked as a waiter. I've worked as a line cook. So fuck off with that comment shit. Like, if the service is no good, there's no tip. And this is just, it's not, I feel like the culture's too much. I feel like to what you just said, it's stopping me from going to restaurants because I don't have enough money in the first place. And now that I know I don't have enough money to like obviously tip, well, I'm probably not going to go out more because I just don't have enough money to, because I have to tip $10 on 30 in order to be a fucking fair tip, apparently.
Yeah, you're not the only one that's taking issue with the whole tipping culture thing. And in a lot of cases, it is getting extremely out of hand. Like places like Starbucks now are adding like an automatic tipping option when you pay with debit and stuff like that. And I'm not going to tip at a fucking Starbucks. You're not making me gourmet coffee. You're pressing a few buttons, maybe shaking. No offense to anyone that works at a Starbucks or anything, but like to tip at a Starbucks or even like a Tim Hortons or something, I just don't think. Yeah, you're not getting paid enough, and it's on Starbucks to make sure that happens.
And especially at places like that, because again, I know what it's. I worked as a server as a student. It's awful, and you need those tips. And I'm sympathetic to it too, because maybe she was having a tough time, this server, and she needed those tips that night. And fuck, that's the thing too. Like, I get that whole side of it, and I'm not trying to say don't tip it, but like, you gotta like. Leave it. You can't be aggressive about it. It's not fair to the poor people.
No, it'll have the opposite effect on what she, expects from her clients.
And this to the point I was just trying to make with the I get it when it's like a mom and pops, or like there's a local chain, Burgoo, in Vancouver, which they do like home cooked meals, and there's like 4 of them. It's like, that's not a big chain to me. So they're not making a lot of money, because running a fucking restaurant is difficult. I understand the margins thing. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But Starbucks is making money, so they should be paying. Yeah. So if it's, and like same with like Earls and stuff, it's like, and again, I'm going to tip, fuck off. But we shouldn't be having to tip. Those restaurants should be paying a living wage, so people don't have to rely on us covering the rest of their wage.
Oh yeah, we're a long way away from restaurants paying their employees living wage. But this experience happened to you while you were out on a date. How did that work?
What, the
date?
Did
your date care?
No, she was great. She's great about it all.
Because that would have been
she knew I was broke. Like I said, like 10 messages ago, I'm broke.
Yeah. That would have been my main concern, like getting shamed, as you said, in front of a person that you're just starting to see.
Well, and she was like, I could tell that she was like, didn't want me to be upset, because she was like, she even said like, I see both sides of it, like you should be upset, but I understand. And like I said, I get it too, because she's looking for the tip she needs to survive, and people are fucking dicks and not pay her enough. But like, even she was like, just brush it off, trying to play it cool and stuff. And it made her I could tell it made her feel awkward as well, because she was trying to be a good person and make sure that she was comforting me, because she saw that I was frustrated. And it went away in 5 minutes, but to the mental health thing, it's like, fuck. It's like, I've been hamster wheeling it all day. Like, damn, like, why should I have to explain to some server that I'm broke? It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
I know I do it here.
Pretty soon we're going to be tipping at H&M because someone helped you find a shirt. How much would you tip for that?
I don't go to H&M. No, they use Uyghur labor.
Yeah, so I don't really either.
Tipping for finding a shirt. Man, if you find me a good shirt, I don't know, $50.
Damn.
That's a good. Finding a nice shirt that fits well is difficult.
I know.
And like I'm probably going to go through like an hour of trying on shirts. So yeah, $20 to $50, I would say, would be a fair tip.
I kind of agree with you.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a stinge.
No, you're not. And that's the, like, obviously I know you personally, so that's the part that gets me. Is like,
yeah,
maybe she thought that you were some sort of cheap fuck or something like that, and that's why she was. But still,
even then, and that's none of her fucking business.
Yeah, even then, it's not an excuse.
Yeah. So God, I'll probably go back too, though. God, they make really good food.
Damn,
it's a great little spot.
Damn it. Maybe you'll get the same server too. That'd be a trip.
No, I'll ask for it. I'll make sure I don't get her.
Can we get somebody else on this table, please?
And she wasn't even my server the whole time. Like, we had 2 different servers. Like, there's so much to this. There's so many layers to this that just make it more frustrating. But yeah. Anyways, I can't dwell on it too much.
Well, you can complain about it on the internet.
I did not go on the internet and make a complaint, though. I thought about it. I was going to tweet it.
You could, you should go tweet it.
No.
Or like,
I'm not going to be that Karen.
Make a post on Reddit.
Just shame this restaurant. God. Or I wanted to write like a letter to the editor or the owner.
There was a post on Reddit, actually, speaking of Reddit, that I saw recently that made me think a lot about, I don't know, we talk about mental health a lot on this program. The fuck is this? PBS?
That was awesome.
On this program, we discuss the topic of mental health a lot, and This was an interesting post. It was on the Gen Z subreddit. Yep. Gen Z, they're the younger generation than the millennials. And I guess on that subreddit, there's a lot of Gen Zers that complain a lot about what's ailing them in life. And I found this post really enlightening.
Okay.
The title of the post is, "Get Offline. It is not alcohol. It is not porn. It is not weed. It is not blah, blah. It is being online. Get offline." And there's just a couple of sentences that I'm going to read. With the recent Alcohol Sucks post on here, I want to break down some movements from more or less Gen Z that I feel are kind of dumb and I don't get it. A lot of us feel depressed or anxious, have ADHD, and are just desperate to feel fulfillment or to understand why we feel the dread. I often feel that dread. Tons of manly advice forums preach what are basically ancient religious values on marriage as the way to be fulfilled. Feminists curl inwards about opinions of anonymous men or guys on dating apps. NoFap, which is another subreddit for people trying to stop masturbating,
sorry. Yeah.
blames all of life's conceivable problems on porn. Vegans will tell you it is eating meat.
Yeah! Woo!
Incels blame it on women and dating apps. The list goes on. Hard truth, just get off the internet. And that kind of spoke to me because, like, yeah, almost all of the things that I will maybe not all, but a lot of the things that I do feel this quote unquote dread about stem from either being in a communication with somebody online on social media, reading something online, even like watching a show or something or a documentary. A lot of my anxiety and the things that impact my mental health happen on the internet. And one thing that I have not tried to do for any conceivable length of time is just try to get off the internet. Like, I would love to feel how it feels to be like completely disconnected from the internet for like even a day. Because I can't remember the last time
You
I've been.
haven't done that?
No.
Really?
Well, if you think about like my job, for work, I can't be off the internet.
But even like on a weekend for a Sunday, you haven't like taken a road trip and like put your phone down and like not touched it like for like all day. Oh man!
No. When I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, both of us we'll put our phones away, and we'll spend the time together, and we'll never go on our phones.
Yeah,
we're still interfacing with the internet though, like if we're watching a show or something like that. But I know there's a differentiator there.
Yeah.
I do think watching a movie that you like is different from like scrolling through social media.
Yes.
So yeah, we do that. I think I don't do that as an individual on my own, as often as I should or could. But yeah, I tend to agree that I think a lot of people would stop feeling so much, I don't know, damage to their mental health if they just took a break from their phones and from the internet.
But isn't this kind of like the video game? This reminds me of the video game thing. Like the video games are rotting kids when we were growing up.
Causing violence.
And it turns out, no, that was very not true. See, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this. I don't think it's the internet. I think that we're all exposed to this. It's just now everyone sees what you're particularly doing, like and like you can like filter your browsers and things like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that internet's an amazing thing that we should use all the time and stay on it. And I just think it's up to us to make sure that it's a place where we can go that doesn't have all that stuff. Like I have, like my Twitter, and yes, I call it Twitter. It's still Twitter to me, is totally like filtered out. Like I block Elon Musk's name. Like I don't see any tweet about him. So I don't see a lot of shit. And same with my browser stuff. Like I just stay away from things and I don't look at it. So I see what you're saying, but I don't think we should just stay off the internet. I think we should just be more responsible internet users.
It kind of reminds me of that thing that you were talking about on the last episode, which was about us not being built for, I don't remember specifically what you were referring to, but just not being built for all the shit that's going on all at once, I think was sort of the basis of it.
Yeah, all the violence, the impact of all you're talking about on us all the time. Yeah, and the death, the constant death, is being surrounded by death and things like that. We're not made to be around it. Yeah,
and I think that's kind of how I feel when I'm thinking about this conversation around the internet.
Okay.
It's hard for me to think that I'm built mentally to be able to absorb all this information that I voluntarily choose to absorb, again, by scrolling or whatever I'm doing on the internet. I often feel like, I don't know, after a long day of doing that, and I don't do it constantly. Like I think I'm on the internet less than a lot of people. The
How
only
many hours can you think you can peg down how many like minutes or hours a day you're on?
I would say in terms of the direct stuff that we're talking about on a work day, honestly, it's all day because it's
You
for
have
work.
to be, yeah,
I
yeah.
scour social media for stories and
Yeah.
stuff like that. On a day where I'm not working, I'm probably on Reddit for like an hour or two, not all at once, but like accumulating
Accumulated?
about 2 hours
Yeah.
a day,
Yeah.
like 10-minute breaks
Yeah.
on it, like here and there. I won't go on Twitter unless I'm working.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, rule. There you go. You're already doing it. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm on Instagram, it's honestly like maybe 20 minutes a day, if that. So it's really just Reddit. And honestly, a lot of my time that I spend on Reddit is just reading dumb shit.
Yeah.
There's a subreddit now that I really like called Texts.
Oh
And
God.
there's people taking screenshots of their text interactions, like with their boyfriends or like their mothers.
Yeah.
Just like weird text interactions, sometimes toxic text interactions. And it's just like, it doesn't impact me mentally at all. It's just, honestly, that kind of feels like a break from life sometimes. So maybe it's
But
not
it's-
the internet. Maybe
No,
it's the
it's-
outer net.
Yeah. Stay in. Get connected, man. Stay connected, but don't be. Stay connected, but don't leave your life neglected. That's a message from Eric's living room.
Can you say that one more time? Stay connected, but don't leave your life neglected. Wow.
You like that? And yeah, and I think it's just this responsibility of us. Because it's great. The internet's great.
Yeah, you hear
But
that?
I love TV. But I always think back because I never had a computer growing up.
Really?
I didn't have a computer till I probably didn't own my own first computer till I was 28 years old. I got a Mac.
Damn.
Yeah. So I've only owned a computer for like 15 years.
Yeah, I grew up with dial-up. Like I remember the
no.
first time internet was made available to consumers. We got dial-up internet.
Yeah.
If you pick up the phone, internet crashes.
Yeah, yeah.
It took you an hour to download one MP3 on
Yeah,
Napster.
I know of this. Yeah, yeah. Because I
My-
went to people's houses and I would like, put in the 7 discs to load the game and all that.
and
But
it
yeah,
wasn't. It was lame.
yeah, it was awful.
7 floppy disks to install a game. I remember that shit too. But yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know if I'm trying to compensate for my lifetime of, being off screens. Because I don't know if it's, again, for me, is it the internet or is the screen you? Because I just love being in front of a screen and watching TV. Like I always have my TV on. And so sometimes the internet's just that too.
Yeah, no, I think you hit it on the head there. I think it's about responsibility, and I think I need to exercise more of that because it's just a tool. People have talked about this for platforms like Facebook and shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks, but there's a lot of people that are using Facebook for more productive means. I don't know, like people that use it for events or groups,
Yeah.
community groups. There's a lot of people that use it in positive ways like that, and you could say Facebook is a good then, even though overall it's a shitty platform
It's a
that's
rape website.
causing a lot of problems in the the political world and whatnot. I don't give a fuck about that. If you got a group, you want to go on a picnic, make a picnic group on
Right, make the
Facebook. It's
picnic
great.
group. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what the internet is, I guess.
Picnic group?
If you want it to be.
I don't want to go on a picnic with anybody. I'm always worried about ants.
Yeah. I don't
Especially
like
if you have
bugs.
sweets.
And you always have sweets on a picnic. You have fruit.
Yeah.
You got fruit, you're fucked.
Or the lady you're with. And I'm always afraid of
Wait, the lady you're with is going to attract ants?
No, she's sweet.
Oh.
Come on, man, keep up. I'm always afraid of the crazy ant with the dog. You ever run? Oh, you don't have a dog. People that have dogs, you ever run into the crazy ant energy? You know what crazy ant energy is?
Are you talking about like a family woman ant? Or
Yeah, like an
okay.
ant. Sorry, yeah, I transitioned there. My bad. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, they come at you with like this really overwhelming energy.
Oh yeah.
It's like dark black that surrounds them, and a lot of them have like 3 dogs, and they're out of control. And they'll see me across the way with my dog, and they're like beeline. They're like, and they have this crazy ant look on their face, and I'm just like, oh fuck. And they're like, does your dog want to say hi to mine? I'm like, no, my dog hates your dog already. And she's like, are you sure? And then she lets her dogs go because she's crazy ant. And I'm like, pick my dog up because like I don't want dogs to fight because I'm a responsible dog owner. Yeah, but that's like crazy ant energy.
So did you have like crazy ants like that, like actual ants?
Oh, I got a crazy fucking ant.
Me too, man. Every time
Oh.
I'd go over to her place, she's like, when are you going to get married? Like that was her first
Oh.
question to me.
Oh, okay, that kind of crazy, that level.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Mine was energy like, it's hard to describe. It's like you'll be at a bar or a restaurant with her and she'll be just sitting there quietly. Like this is like, and she'll be like, wow, I wonder why they chose to make the decor in this restaurant orange. I wonder what that's about, eh? And just waiting for, and there's people that like we're sitting with her at the table, and she like announces it to the room. Yeah, that's crazy aunt energy, that sort of shit.
Well, anyway, what do you want to talk about next week, Eric?
Same thing we talk about every week, Amir. Forgiveness. It's overrated.